What's up, world? This is Raul with Live Loud coming at you guys again with another episode of Say It Loud. So today I got my man Javi going to be jumping on and telling some of the stories. Before we get into that, if you guys haven't seen these previous episodes, Say It Loud is really all about storytelling on who we are and where we come from. A lot of people know where we've arrived to in the direction that we're going towards, but they don't know the fuel, the reasons, the pain, the struggle, the joy, the influences that led us up to this point. Say It Loud is really about recognizing that. So Javi, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, so I met Javi a couple of years ago, several years ago now, through my brother Gary, who suggested me you have to meet with this guy. You guys got to work together. You guys have to create some magic. And I've been fortunate enough to have Javi, not just as a client, but as a friend, a person that I've been able to hear his coaching, hear his words, and at the same time being able to support him in his journey as well. So it's been awesome. So Javi, tell us more about who you are and what you do.
When I was a little boy, Raul, I always had one thing of paying close attention to life, mm-hmm. right? And how things happen to turn out. And I can become very spiritual sometimes. I'm a believer in God, and I always knew that I was meant to do something. I just didn't know what it was. And I experienced in lots of things. I played baseball, went to the military, trying to find what my niche was. And for me to come out to become an entrepreneur who was an inspirational speaker, a coach to getting people from where they are to where they want to be on mindset. And the reason why I believe I was led to that is because of life experience that I've been through. And have I been through some experience? Absolutely. I've been through ups and downs. I've been through peaks and mountains. I've been through valleys, and I've got out of them because of how I perceive myself to be. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people who struggle don't know how to get out of struggle. And I believe the best teachers are the people who have experience. And with that being said, and investing in myself, I really feel my contribution to the world of a gift that was given to me at birth was to inspire people and give people hope again, to know that they matter. And you know what? One day I'm going to face judgment, and I don't want to be told to me, I gave you a gift and you never used it. I gave you a gift and you never used it to make people great and help people find who they are. And that's what I do. I have a passion for that, Raul. I have a passion to help people, achieve whatever goal and dreams that they want, and to become not only success, but to go to significance.
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge for me.
Yeah, I see a lot of what you do, like in your content or the way that you speak, or the stories that I know about you, even the work that you've done with your clients, that you support people going from a participant in their life to jump in the driver's seat, right? To not just react to what's occurring to them or what's going on with them, and just participating, and in that form of just life happens, whatever happens, but to what do I want to cause? What do I want to manifest? So all this stuff comes from somewhere, right? So where did this come from? Where did this sympathy, empathy, connection, drive to not just liberate yourself mentally, but at the same time be able to inspire and influence other people? Where did that stem from?
I think it stemmed from my personal struggles. I see how my mom struggled. My mom raised 3 of us by herself. And I see how she struggled, rubbing nickels together and trying to feed us, having a lot of pancake dinners. And there's lots of families out there that feel that, it's okay to live that life of average. And for some people it is, but for many people it's not. Many people don't have a vehicle or direction to know that, I believe education is great, but many people think that they have to have a huge education to become successful or to be a creator or to create something. And that's wrong. School is not for everybody. Mm-hmm. And I really feel with a desire, it's all about desire. And my desire was, I got tired of being sick and tired. I got tired of being here when I really wanted to be here. Mm-hmm. And, surrounding myself with the right people, working with the right people, I found myself to be not only an impactor, but a creator and a leader to direct people. Okay, leaders direct people. They create other leaders, and there's a lack of that in this world.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of people are ego driven, but they're not purpose driven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely spot on. And there's so many people that their inner compass is geared towards something that we're taught to learn, taught to what our level of success is supposed to be, what we're supposed to desire in our life, without asking ourselves that question about what really matters to me and how
Right,
do I achieve that's of my truth. So,
right.
Javi, get into a story, man. What time in your life did you really feel was your driving force to become this life coach, become this inspiration?
I say 11 years ago, I had an experience that my kids come to me and say, hey, daddy, can you buy me this? And can you buy me that? You know, and, I needed one day to buy milk, was it for my kids? And I needed to take out $20. In order to take $20 out, you have to have $20 in. And I had $6.23 in my bank account. And I said to myself, you know what? I have enough to buy me a half a gallon, but it's the point that was a breaking point for me. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I looked at my baby boy at the time and I said, Daddy will never struggle like this again.
Mhm.
And I made that decision, and when you make a decision and you're true to that decision, there's no looking back. Is the road ahead going to be easy? No, and it wasn't easy for me, Raul. It wasn't easy for me. And for me to think that I couldn't provide how I wanted to provide for my children made me look at myself and say, shame on you to be where you are. And that's by choice. And
Mhm.
that's by choice. A lot of people, when we make with decisions that we make, we it comes with consequences. And I made wrong decisions. I made wrong choices. And the consequences came with hurting me financially, hurting me spiritually. And when I looked and I couldn't get the money that I wanted to supply for my kids, that broke me. I was not only broken, but I was broke, but I was broken.
Mhm.
And that's when I made the decision, Raul. I said, nah, if things to change, things need to change.
Right.
And I needed to change. And if I didn't change 2-3 years from now, I would have been worse. And thank God I changed and I had the desire. And now I can show people how to do it. Now I can show people, even though you go through struggle, through stories and experiences, people tend to listen because you become relatable. I know your story.
Mhm.
And your story is inspiring to me because if I'm struggling just like you, it gives me hope.
Mhm.
There's many people out there that has $6 in their bank account. They want to know how to get more money or how to create, how to think different.
Right.
Not have the life of average. And let me show you how not to be that way.
Yeah, what I love about that is that there's two things that come to mind. One is that you said the straw that broke the camel's back. Now, when people
Right,
usually hear that terminology, they're thinking the part that broke them, the part that might have the moment of collapse, the moment of maybe giving up. But for you, you use that term as a form of like the moment that broke me forward, that
right,
launched me forward and making the decision to or what you get to have. And is that's really powerful, man, because how many of us experience failure? How many experience hardship in our life and we utilize that moment to discourage what could be because we have evidence of what isn't,
right,
right? We have evidence of what we can't have or what isn't working for us. You could have concluded, oh, I'm worthless. I'm not good at what I do. Look at me. I should be embarrassed. I'm ashamed. You could have come up with a bunch of conclusions, but you concluded, no, this doesn't get to be this way. This is how it
right.
actually gets to be. And the second
That's
thing that
right.
stands out about what you shared, man, is that this is such a shared experience. How many people go out that we interact with? How are you? I'm fine. But we're
Right, right,
struggling
right.
in a very similar way, man. Like we
That's
struggle with
right.
our families, we struggle sometimes with money, we struggle with our ambitions, our dreams, our self-doubt. And if we're not willing to interact with these conversations, if I can't be vulnerable with you, then I can't receive any of Javi's greatness because he can now understand me based on where I am authentically at and make that impact to me there.
Right. No, no, you're absolutely right. It's all about being vulnerable and being transparent. You want all of me, give me all of you. And I can, you see, when I see people, Raul, I don't come to them to give them answers. I come to them to give them to disturb their soul, asking them the right questions.
Mhm.
Okay, because I want them to self-evaluate. I want them to understand why they are where they are and how can we fix it. Okay, I struggled ton of times in my life. I failed countless times in my life, but it made me who I am and made you who you are. And if people would just understand that the journey is what makes things great, and the story. Raul, there's just times that I come and I feel like I felt like dirt. I felt like I didn't matter.
Mhm.
And then I look at myself in the mirror, and I invested in myself, and I got involved with different speakers so I can become better. You know, I say to myself, I'm proud of myself for, and I say 5, 6 things that I'm proud of myself for. And then I say to myself, you know what, Javi, I forgive you for, and I forgive myself for things that I didn't do that I should have. However, at the end, I say I commit myself to commit myself to doing something so I can accomplish what I want. Self-evaluation. You know, some people got to take a lot of hard looks in the mirror. A lot of people play the blame game, Raul. They want to blame the world for where they're at. You know, you can point your fingers, but you have 3 fingers pointing right back at you. I teach you how to self-evaluate. I teach you how to look inside and you physically take out the problem, make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, right.
You know?
And that's a beautiful thing, right? The level of being uncomfortable. Most people, I find an ambition within the common person. I think it's our human forcing ourselves to adapt to survive, right? That comfort is such a primary thing that we're looking for. And granted, right, if we're hungry, if we're cold because we lack shelter and all that stuff, it really stumps our ability to create in a lot of ways, right? I can't really think about my ambitions and dreams of my business and the storytelling and everything that I want to create if I'm starving, if I'm in those circumstances, of course. But if we can embrace uncomfort, if we can embrace stepping outside of our comfort zone to stretch ourselves in that slightest bit, we start to access the things that we don't have in our lives, the things that previously haven't been available to us, because now we are willing to do that work. So you shared the story about the moment with your kid and bringing home milk. When did you start to take this outside of that? Because you could have just taken care of your family, for yourself, but now your mission is to take people with you and to liberate people mentally, emotionally, or what things that they have encountered as a coach. So when did that shift happen for you?
There's a saying, to be successful, you have to be the biggest servant. Okay, they're saying find a way to serve the many, for service to many leads to greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes, you can go out and you can be in it to win it and play a lotto and hope that you get it. But you know what? I'd rather create something, and one could put 1,000 to flight, 2 can put 10,000 to flight. And I see myself. I say, you know what? If I get myself out of a jam and I know how to do it, and I just stay there, yes, I'm okay. I'm successful. I have some money, but there's no significance. There's no meaning behind it. And people tell me, Javi, you have a great brand. I'm like, what's a brand? I'm just Javi Solis. And they say, no, but you love to help people. So I said, I'm going to live a life of excellence. How do you want to be remembered? What impact do you want to make? How do you want people to see you? Do you want people to see you as ego-driven, or you want people to see you as purpose-driven? Do you want people to trust you with their lives? Raul, there's many people out there that are afraid, and they just want their voices to be heard with the right person. Okay? People can come up to you and they can just tell you their whole world life story because they trust who you are. People, I can ask the right questions, and people would just throw up on me everything in their life because they want answers. People are looking for a safe place where they can thrive and soar. And I go from success to significance, because significance is a life of excellence. You want to be remembered, be excellent. Okay? People will remember how you make them feel, Raul. They will never remember what you do for them, what you say to them, what you buy them. They will always remember how you make them feel. And that's why I want people to feel better than they did 5 minutes ago when I speak to them.
There's something that I've always said is that our money is going to be spent our clothes are going to be donated or whatever, our home is going to be inherited or sold or whatever. And the only thing that exists after we leave this earth is our name and how it was carried, the impact that it's made on other people. And when we get
Right.
into story, as we're both mentioning story here, what story do we want to tell? Not even just from a joyful, I would like to say this to impress other people, just what story do we want to tell, even ourselves, or acknowledge at the end of our journey, right? Is it that,
Right.
do we want to just say, I played it by the rules, I played it safe, and I survived it? And this opportunity that we have for those people who believe in one life, if we have this one life, what story do we really want to tell with it? Do we want to say that we were comfortable and we played it safe? Or do we want to say we were authentic towards what we really genuinely wanted and we explored that and we chased that? And at the end of the day, it might be the same thing. It might be I worked a 9 to 5 and I retired and I just enjoyed my life with what I had. No fault, nothing wrong with that. But is that your truth? You know, and so one of the reasons why I appreciate you is because you work with people on finding that truth.
Right. Well, you know, I tell people, what do you want to die full or do you want to die empty? You know, and I say that because, you know, I ask questions. I learned this from a mentor of mine. You know, the richest place in the world is the cemetery, because that's where people die with great ideas, with books that haven't been written, business that never been discovered. And, you know, I say that to myself. I said, it's true. You know, go all out. You have one life. Enjoy it. You know, go all, I mean, go all in. And I say that because I'm true to me. I'm true to myself. And yes, I'm a Latino. I come from humble beginnings, but there's many people who come from beginnings that want to get to where you are, Raul. There's many people from humble beginnings that want to get to where I am, Raul. Okay, look what you've created with Live Loud. It's so inspiring to see what you created with that. You gave people hope, saying, you know what? If he can do it, so can I.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what this is all about, because you talk about your struggles. If you talk about, you know what, this was a piece of cake. I just go around the world. I just help people.
No,
Then people are gonna say that it's not relatable to me, then I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about being transparent and relatable. You have an incredible story. I have an incredible story. How many people want to tell their stories out there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's tell stories together and let's change this world. And for what's left of it, you know, with this coronavirus thing that's going on, a lot of people think that, you know what, there's things in our life that we just can't control. We can't control what's going on with the coronavirus. But we could control, if it rains outside, we can have an umbrella and cover ourselves with the rain. There's things that we can't control, things that we can't. What we could control is the outcome of our life. What we could control is where we want to go with our life. See, I always tell people, know where you want to go. Just don't go driving. Just don't drive. Know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a destination?
Yeah.
You know, or life will end up driving you if you don't drive it.
Absolutely, man. So this is in this time that we're on quarantine, there's so many people that are finding themselves home and not knowing what to do with their energy. I always plug this in at the end of every call because there's so much value in what you have to share. I believe in the value that I have to share. And we could be seizing an opportunity right now, developing ourselves emotionally, spiritually, and in our career and doing all that stuff, right? So as a coach, as Javi Solis, what would you suggest people right now that they have the opportunity to be home and be in their space and relating to themselves? What can people be taking this time to be doing?
One, being grateful. Mm-hmm. Being grateful that if you still have a job, there's many people who lost their jobs and became unemployed because of this. Two, be grateful that you have a family, that you have a family together, and spend that quality time with your family and doing the things that you couldn't do when you had your job, when you were distracted with your job, having that 9 to 5, coming home being tired, you just want to go to sleep and wake up doing the whole thing all over again. Mm-hmm. Reciprocity. Call somebody and see if they are okay.
Yes.
Okay. There's many people out there who are alone, and people are afraid now, Raul. With the media and the government and social media, people are going nuts in their brains because of what's going on. It will pass. This too shall pass. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, sit down and ask yourself, if you have some quiet time, who am I? And who am I really?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have this quiet time to yourself, away from the noise. You block out the noise. Who am I? And maybe you can download something that you couldn't download, that you can create something, because there's so much noise in your life. You have kids, you have a wife, you have a job, and so much noise. You're not able to have that quiet time to get some good downloads in your brain that, maybe I can do this too as a multiple stream of income, or maybe I can do this too to bring income in my family.
Absolutely. To spend time with ourselves with just that question. And I invite people who are listening to not jump on the first answer that pops into their mind. Just sit with the question of, who am I? Because so oftenly, that's the difference between questioning and wondering, right? When we question something, it's because we're looking to have an answer. We're searching for that conclusion of what that could be. But to wonder about it is to sit, what else can that be? And exploring the levels and depths about that. So for those people listening, try that out. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Let me sit with that question just to see what stuff starts flushing up. And the second thing that, Javi, that you're bringing to my attention right now too, is that this is an opportunity to be at service. This is an opportunity to not just take care of yourself, but go take care of other people as well. Javi, I know that you're a testament of this, and myself included, that my biggest lessons have come from me standing in contribution. So right now that we have this time to ourselves, let's grow spiritually, emotionally, in what ways that we desire to be for ourselves. But let's go apply that, because there are people who are losing their jobs. There are people who are losing their families. And, God be with you if that is you. And we speak to you that you are not alone. Let's come together in this time and be able to partner up with what could be and seize the opportunity that we have right now.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And that's really important. Service is very important. And I'm gonna say something, Raul. Every breakthrough comes from a breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the world is at a breakdown. The world's at a pause. I've never in my life encountered something like that. I've seen the Zika virus, the swine flu, the West Nile virus. This one broke everything, and it caught everyone by surprise. But I tell you something right now, when all this blows over, there's going to be such a breakthrough for many, because this pause of reflection, people are going to find and discover who they are if they surround themselves with the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's going to be a lot of great leaders being born through this. There's going to be a lot more creators born through this, because there's going to be a lot of self-evaluating. And once this is over, there's going to be so much breakthrough in people's lives if they choose and make a decision. Is it going to be easy? No. There's going to be struggle, but a lot of people are going to grow from this. Trust me. I'm telling you right now, I grew through struggle. You grew through struggle. The world is struggling right now. I'm telling you, if people surround themselves or get coached or speak to the right people, they're going to have breakthrough in their lives from their breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Love on people, and then love people hard.
Yep. Love people hard. Love it, man. So for the people who are listening who want to see how can they start integrating this, Javi, how can people find you? What are some handles or some places that people can contact you if they want to work with you, or they just feel inspired by you?
My email is javi@javisolis.com. My number is 917-575-1757. I'm on Facebook under Javi Solis. I'm having a website actually being created right now. Is javisolis.com. It's not live. I'm having that worked on as well. Call me. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Let me see where the voids are. Let me help you out. And I enjoy doing that. I help people work their land. Raul, we help people work their land.
Yeah.
Believe in you, because I will always believe in you. You give up on you before I give up on you. That's how I'm constructed. Raul, and you're constructed the same way. You inspire me at what you do. Being on this show is an honor for me to be here. And I'm your friend for life.
Yeah, brother. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for taking the time, for connecting. We're far from done. I know we're talking about creating our own magic with that you got going on. For people listening, please tune in, check it out, follow Javi. If you have any questions, you could contact him, contact us. Again, Live Loud is all about putting the blowhorn on the great things that are going on in life and the beautiful people who are creating such amazing things. That's what we really stand for. So thank you guys again. Grow yourself, spend time with yourself, be at service to other people, and tune into more and more interviews coming your way, guys. Sending lots of love.
That's right.
Peace out, guys.